to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen, the 5th day of October 2025. Another beautiful day that the Lord has given to us to rejoice. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look into some developing story that I've been following here for the last 2 days. And let me say here, the letter of the ODM Party Secretariat, Dennis Onyango, and the team led by seasoned journalist Philip Etale, Communication Director at ODM Party, linking Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and Rigathi Gachagua to Raila health gossip stories is, according to me, that letter from Raila's Secretariat is reckless, shameful, and unprofessional. And it is so absurd that the people that are bestowed with the responsibility of protecting Odinga's dignity have decided to play politics with what, according to me, is a very sensitive matter. And I want to demonstrate to you in this podcast why there is a cabal around Odinga planting Raila animosity with the other politicians apart from William Ruto. And the intent is very predictable. They want to make sure that Odinga does not make a U-turn as he purports and sticks with William Ruto. So we are going to look at that letter. I had, since Friday, I've been talking to a very close insider from Orange House about these developments, and I want to speak from a point of knowledge. I always say in this podcast, we don't rush. For the last 2 days, Lee Funeral Home and Karen has been trending, and people have been asking what's going on. And as I say here, Mimi, you are to rush. We only come for you when it is something that has been verified. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. And thank you very much for supporting this podcast. And more importantly, thank you that apart from the podcast, this podcast gave birth to Ball Foundation. And thank you for supporting our 2 projects in the month of September, where we took 4 students to college. And again, we also built a house for Mary Nyambura in Nakura, project that we are actually finishing at the moment. And thank you very much that I do call you guys to coalesce around an idea. This is the state of that house we've been building in Nakuru. It was a 2-bedroom house. That is where we were able to reach. And of course, the other parts of the finishing is going on. Now, there have been reports about Raila Odinga's health, and this is not something new, and it is not coming for the first time. This information has ever come out, and media, of course, Kenyans raised questions about the absence of Odinga in public for more than 1 week. This was after he made a statement that ODM would field a candidate. We were waiting for his next public appearance, but he went missing for more than 7 days. So there have been snippets. I've seen a couple of some few young bloggers here, of course, trying to do some small snippets about Raila's health situation. And for me, I didn't do that video. I didn't even follow up because I was trying to ask, really, what's going on? But it's so absurd that the people that are supposed to protect Raila's dignity, Raila's privacy, the people that are bestowed with that responsibility are coming up to politicize Raila's health. So bad. Very reckless. And I want us to read the spirit of this letter. This letter was done by Raila Odinga's Secretariat press release on Right Honorable Odinga's health. I want you to read the tone of this letter, especially these first two paragraphs. Political formation of impeached former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and his struggling team of Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, among others, are on familiar campaign of misinformation on the health of former Prime Minister and ODM leader Raila Odinga. The misinformation is broadcast by the same team that went on a frenzy against Honorable Raila's bid for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission earlier this year. Gachagua, Kalonzo, and co have co-opted sections of the traditional media that are happily picking feeds from bloggers, including AI-generated images, and broadcasting them as some kind of investigative breaking news. That paragraph, you even wonder what was the essence of this press. Was it to talk about Gachagua or to talk about Raila's health? I want you to pick the tone of that. Some few snippets. That Raila secretariat, and this is not Raila, this is his secretariat, are linking Rigathi and Kalonzo to be the ones that are on that smear campaign. You know, Mgala, we know that you can use all manner of adjectives to describe Rigathi Gachagua and describe Kalonzo Musyoka. But I think there is nowhere, if someone has a post somewhere where Rigathi Gachagua has commented about Raila's health, telling the country that Raila is dead, or Kalonzo said somewhere, can you share, even in the comment section? Can you share in my WhatsApp? Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. But they are dragging the name of Rigathi and Kalonzo just to make it, to create, there was no story here. Just to create a story that does not exist. You want to plant hate. So you want those who love Raila to hate Rigathi and Kalonzo because Rigathi and Kalonzo purportedly are the ones that are spreading that news. In fact, no mainstream media captured some investigative story on Raila's health, as Dennis Onyango wants us to believe. There is nothing like that. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. And then they are saying that it is the same people that were running misinformation on Raila's AUC. Kwani, Raila lost that vote because of Rigathi and Kalonzo. Come on. Come on. So Rigathi, who was an impeached deputy president, was able to convince African presidents not to vote for Raila. Really? Why are the people around Odinga, why is that cabal around Odinga trying to pick enmity with people, really something that is not there? Now, intentionally, they're only picking two people. Three. They have only picked Kalonzo, Eugene, and Rigathi. If they wanted to talk about opposition, mbona hajaita Rikamatiangi, mbona hajaita Martha Karua, mbona hajaita Mituri? So it's creating unnecessary, really, times. Skiza. It is the hope of this team then and now is to bully Honorable Raila to provide a back for them to ride on in their struggle against President William Ruto. So if come on, in fact, these people are not even wise. The people who are writing this. If someone is to say that Raila is dead, how does Kalonzo benefit? How does Rigathi benefit from that story? He definitely did not travel. Honorable Raila traveled out of the country on Friday evening, one of the many trips he has made this year, and definitely not the last. He definitely did not travel to Europe as picked from bloggers and broadcast by some media houses. He's not indisposed as prayed for by his frustrated opponents. Home or away, Honorable Raila remains committed to ideals of broad-based government. He remains steadfast in his belief that extreme threats to the nation require extreme compromises in the interest of the nation. We understand his opponent's frustration with this. Come on. Come on. Come on. So the story was, the press briefing was about Raila's health. How is the issue of BBG? Actually, that press briefing is pathetic. Sometimes, really. Na ni kama hata iko generated towards global socio-economic. It's a very pathetic press statement. Very pathetic, from not worth me reading. Really, I don't even feel the essence of reading all of it. Why is someone running? What is the intention of that press briefing? The people that came up with that press statement, they wanted to amplify the Raila health story. If a blogger said it somewhere, these young bloggers here ran out, came up with such a story, wakapiga nayo kelele, really? How do you come up now, start dragging people's names, just patching people's names that Kindiki, that Kalonzo, Rigathi did this? And it's so bad. Kalonzo's wife has been sick for quite a while. Sasa, ndio sasa anaweza mka sasa ati anza sema kitu kama hiyo surely. I think that the guys behind that press briefing stooped too low, man. But I want to tell you, there is a cabal around Odinga that wanted to amplify that story. Remember, there was no story. Like Mimi Hata, I had decided that is not something I wanted to comment about. But I'm commenting because of their press briefing. Because then from their press statement, we can actually read their motive. Sometimes I said that there is a cabal around ODM that should not be allowed around Raila. Why are they amplifying that story? Why are they creating story about Raila's health? They're creating story because they want to deflect public attention on there is a critical story that happened in this country probably on Thursday about some drug trafficking in JKIA. That is the story. From my few people I talk to here, they don't see Raila's health as a story. Actually, they are seeing that there is a scheme to deflect the attention because part of those people that were involved in it are actually on the side of broad-based. So someone wants to deflect the attention of the country just around that. No one is talking about it. Well, that was supposed to be the big news. Number two, I think Odinga team are working cabal with the clique of Ruto's insiders to deflect the attention of the country from the continuous mass voter registration. I said here, and I will repeat, guys. I saw a message from one of us. Let me just read for you that message. I wish I can get it. There is one of us who sent me a message appealing. Victor, anti-democracy is a virus that exists, and pro-democracy is the antibody to the virus. And I think we have to become vigilant, and we have to stay on top of the issues of democracy and freedom. Peace, love, justice, your vote, your choice. The major purpose of a voter registration exercise is to ensure that citizens who meet the legal requirement are able to participate in the electoral process. The voters register provides a credible mechanism for verifying an eligibility of voters, which in turn confers legitimacy on the electoral process. Your vote, your future. Come out and vote. Tomorrow is week 2 of continuous voter registration. There is a desk at the constituency office. And I really join those who are asking IBC to consider online registration. Just the same way people normally who go to apply for passport can just do the process online, then just go for biometrics. So it will just be easy that I can register if I want to vote and say I can just register online here, then walk to the nearest Huduma center or somewhere, or even through cyber to even take my photo or walk somewhere and then maybe Huduma Center give my fingerprint. So I don't need, if I want to register in a police polling station in Siaya, like for example, my polling station is called Papnyadiel. If I want to go and register there, I should not travel. I must not travel from here to that place. You know, I don't think that is something very good at the moment. I think there are those who want to cheer BBG deal amidst Raila's health. They just want to find that opportunity to cheer. Now, let me tell you this. One undeniable fact is that Odinga is not a metal. Odinga is a human being. And the ODM leader can fall ill just like you and me. Even me, I've been sick. At some point, you've been sick. And there's nothing so unique about it. And there's nothing so extraordinary about it. And the letter, just simply what Odinga's secretariat needed to do is just to tell the country that, guys, the reports that you've been saying about, maybe seeing about Raila's being hospitalized in Kenya, blah, blah, are not true. Odinga is out on country X on such a tour or something. They're saying Odinga is out. He's not disimposed as others are saying. And receiving, he's not saying that he's going out for medication. It's not important. You don't even need to tell us that Odinga is out of the country. We just need to flag the story as fake news and it ends there. The reports about Odinga's sickness are not true or false. Odinga is out of the country on an official trip. Simple. The country moves forward. You don't start punching people's names there. I don't know, Kalozo, I don't know. Come on. You don't need to go that direction. I've looked at his itinerary on Friday. Odinga left this country on Friday. And what I've established is he left by a chartered plane at exactly 8:30 p.m. Left the country for a destination that allow me withhold. Yes, but ukiniuliza nitakwambia. So, that Friday morning, he held 2 meetings. The first one was a meeting with at Serena Hotel with some NEC members. And do you know that ODM celebration that was supposed to happen in Mombasa next week was postponed to the following month in November? Part of the decision to postpone it was uncertainty on Odinga's health or Odinga's availability for it. They've said that party members were raising questions about areas where that celebration has not happened. And I just want to read for you that so that I tell you that the content of that letter is not like what was intended as they say. But I can just read it for you because there is something you need to get from there. The letter that came from this meeting that happened was allegedly arrived at for they held that meeting to try to convince Raila, allegedly convincing Raila that the event in Mombasa should not proceed, as other areas, the other party members from other regions were also raising point that the areas have not been visited. That after careful consideration, the party leader graciously agreed to a request to expand the program and ensure exclusivity by engaging with more counties before converging in Mombasa for the grand celebration. Consequently, the final preparations and main event in Mombasa have been scheduled to be 14th to 16th November. So they are going to do the celebrations 15th October, Kajiado, 26th October, Turkana, 2nd November, Kilifi, 9th November, Nairobi. Then they will convert to 16th. Then between 14th to 16th, they will be in Mombasa for the ODM at 20 grand celebrations. And just to confirm about this information, listen to Osotsi, who was talking in Vihiga just yesterday, and he made it clear on the issue of Raila's unavailability in that meeting.
Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nitakuwa wa haraka. Kwanza niko na salamu kutoka kwa bosi wangu, kiongozi wa chama cha ODM, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Yeye angekuwa hapa, lakini amesema kwamba amepata shughuli nyingine. Najua rais ako na habari kamili yake. Rais, mimi nataka kupongeza kanisa la PAG. Hili kanisa ni kanisa kubwa sana hapa Kenya. Na hapa Vihiga, hii kanisa iko kwa kila kijiji.
According to Osotsi, Raila was supposed to be present. Raila was supposed to attend that meeting, but he didn't attend the meeting over some alleged engagement that, even according to Osotsi, President William Ruto knew. There is a cabal, and after that meeting, actually, he again met with a delegation from Gor Mahia, where he pledged 10 million. He actually donated 10 million to Gor Mahia team. He met the team in Karen, where this photo was taken, and from this photo you'll understand, this is the photo that actually sparked the conversation about Odinga's health, by people really questioning whether he was fine. There is a camp around Odinga that are, I don't know whether they are working on whose paycheck or on whose interest, but your guess is good as mine, to plant some animosity between Odinga and Kalonzo Rigathi camp and the opposition camp. You must know this. The statement by Odinga that we are working with William Ruto until 2027, then from there they will review their working relationship, left William Ruto in some dilemma. And if we are to go semantics and probably interpret that information, it only means two things. There are only three options for Odinga. That by 2027, or rather in 2027, he either chooses to endorse William Ruto for 2027 re-election, or he presents himself as a candidate in the next general election, or probably joins the opposition team led by Kalonzo and Rigathi to challenge William Ruto. There are only those three options. Now, because the state and those around president knows those options, they are narrowing those options. And that's why that wedge is being created. And probably it's supposed to be put in the mind of Raila supporter that a Raila supporter should least think of Odinga working with Kalonzo and Rigathi. And I can excuse Rigathi. Maybe let's excuse Rigathi. I don't know the animosity that is being planted between Odinga and Kalonzo. Kalonzo supported Odinga for 15 years. Some of us cannot forget about it. We cannot forget about it. We cannot. I've been waiting for the day Raila says Ruto tosha, and Kalonzo is on the other side. The second thing why this animosity is being created is to try to project. Of course, the report on Raila's health was malicious. And if you ask me, someone will ask Kevin now, it is not Kalonzo, it is Rigathi, so it is who? It is just these Gen Zs who normally have developed some hate against Odinga. So it is malicious. But the secretary team wanted to be seen like, watu wanapenda Raila. Ni ile tu Kalonzo na Rigathi ndio wamepanga hiyo kitu. They don't want it to come out like it came out as malicious but organic. The other thing is this. I think the fact that there is a clique of Raila's support base that is warming up to Kalonzo Musyoka is not sitting pretty well with some supporters of Odinga. Recently, Babu Owino endorsed Kalonzo Musyoka. Of course, I know endorsing Kalonzo Musyoka while he's saying that Kalonzo is good, He is pursuing his interest to be Nairobi governor, and so he needs the Kamba vote. That is purely the basis of endorsing Kalonzo. But that trajectory is also coming in the fray. And some of us belong to that group, really. So the trajectory, they understand that in any case, Odinga is not even on ballot. Should some of his support base warm up to Kalonzo? And that is what is causing such kind of narrative. And lastly, someone is just planting seeds of discord between Kalonzo and Raila. To what gain? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's meet in the next.